Amara had always felt different. She wasn't like the others in the Durojaye household. She didn't laugh the same, didn't crave the same things, didn't see the world like they did. Even as a child, she sensed something unspoken lurking beneath her parents' tight smiles and the way they always seemed to look through her, never at her. Her older brother, Kola, was the golden child, bold, confident, a perfect replica of their father, Chief Durojaye. Their younger sister, Tenny, was the darling, always pampered. Amara, the middle child, was tolerated. Raised with manners, fed with wealth, but always held at emotional arm's length. She used to think it was in her head, until the day she found the letter. It was during the holidays. The family had traveled to their estate in Abeokuta, and Amara, bored, was exploring the old storage room. She knocked over a dusty box and outspilled a bundle of faded papers, school reports, health records, and one letter, yellowed with age, torn at the corners, addressed to Mrs. Durojaye from the Bethesda General Hospital, dated June 14th, 2001. We deeply regret the incident and accept full responsibility for the switch in the maternity ward. Her hands went cold. Her breath caught in her throat. Switch? She scanned the rest in disbelief. Her name was right there, Amara Durojaye, mentioned as a baby mistakenly handed to the wrong mother. Her eyes darted to the final line. We hope you continue raising the child with love. The other family has been informed and both parties have agreed never to pursue contact. Amara's mind went blank. She wasn't theirs? Amara clutched the letter to her chest as if it might vanish if she let go. Her entire identity, her place in the family, the home she grew up in, suddenly felt like a well-rehearsed lie. That night, she couldn't sleep. She stared at her reflection in the mirror, searching for clues. Her slightly sharper cheekbones, her almond-shaped eyes, her lighter skin tone. All things she had brushed off for years when people said, "You don't really look like your parents." But now, it all made sense. The next morning, she took a deep breath and walked into her mother's sitting room. Mrs. Durojaye was sipping tea, flipping through a lifestyle magazine. Amara placed the letter on the glass table. "What is this?" her mother asked, her tone casual at first, until she read the first line. A long silence. Her hands trembled slightly, but she said nothing, just folded the letter and set it aside. "You weren't supposed to see that," she said quietly. Amara's voice cracked. "So it's true?" Mrs. Durojaye looked at her with a mix of resignation and coldness. "Yes, you were switched at birth. We found out when you were a year old, but by then you had already bonded with us. You were already mine." "Mine?" Amara snapped. "You never treated me like I was yours." Her mother's jaw clenched. "You wouldn't understand. Your real family," she paused. "They were from the Okonkwo clan, traders, lower class. We made a deal with them. It was better for everyone this way." Amara stepped back, disgusted. "So I've been living a lie with people who hate the very blood in my veins?" "You're not going anywhere," her mother warned. "No one must know, especially your father. He doesn't know the full story." "But I deserve to know them," Amara said, voice rising. "I deserve to know who I really am." The next days passed in a blur. Amara floated through the house like a ghost, carrying the weight of two lives, one stolen from her, the other forced upon her. She started researching the Okonkwo family. The more she read, the more uneasy she became. They weren't just traders. They were once a powerful dynasty in Enugu, wealthy, spiritual, and feared. But after a fire destroyed their family compound in 2002, they disappeared from public life. Amara found an old article online. Mystery Blaze destroys Okonkwo estate. Suspected foul play, no arrests made. A black and white photo showed a little girl in her mother's arms, covered in soot, looking terrified. Amara gasped. It was her. The woman holding her was the same face from a recurring nightmare Amara had as a child. A woman crying in the smoke, calling her name. Her heart pounded. It wasn't just a dream. It was a memory. She had to know more. She needed to find them. To find her. Against her mother's orders, Amara traveled to Enugu. Her hands trembled as she knocked on the rusted gate of a small bungalow at the address listed in the article's comments section. An old woman opened the door. Her eyes widened in shock. Amarachi? The name hit her like a thunderclap. You know me? She asked. The woman's eyes filled with tears. I raised you for the first year of your life. I'm your grandmother. Amara felt the ground slip from under her. All her life, she had been walking over buried truth, and now the bones were rising. What would you do if the life you knew was stolen, and your real family had been silenced for years? Subscribe now, because what Amara discovers next will shake generations. Turn on the bell. You don't want to miss this. The woman, Mama Nkechi, welcomed Amara inside with trembling hands. The walls of the house were covered in faded photos, some cracked, some barely visible. But in every corner, Amara saw pieces of herself. Your mother, Oluchi, she never stopped crying after they took you, Mama Nkechi said, voice raw with grief. She begged them, pleaded, but the Durojayes, they were powerful, and we were poor. They paid us to keep quiet. They paid you? Amara asked, her voice sharp. Mama Nkechi nodded, ashamed. Not for ourselves. We used the money to rebuild our lives after the fire, but we lost you. Amara's chest tightened. Did my mother survive? She did, the old woman said, eyes misting. But she was never the same. She moved away, disappeared. She said she'd never be whole again until she found you. A heavy silence fell over the room. Amara felt a mix of rage and sadness swirling in her. How could the people she grew up with rob her mother of a child and pretend nothing happened? How could they raise her like a stranger in their home, while the woman who birthed her wandered the world in grief? She stayed with Mama Nkechi that night. They talked for hours. The old woman told her everything, from the birth mix-up to the secret threats made by Chief Durojaye's legal team. They said if we ever came for you, we'd lose everything again. The next morning, Amara made a decision. She would find her mother, no matter the cost. She would confront the Durojayes with the truth and reclaim the identity they stole from her. But what she didn't know was that someone was already watching her. From the shadows, a man in a black SUV parked across the street, taking pictures, sending them to a number saved only as CD. Amara returned to Lagos the next evening, but something felt off the moment she stepped through the gates of the Durojaye mansion. Her phone buzzed with an anonymous message. You've gone too far. Walk away while you still can. She froze. Inside the house, silence loomed. Her father wasn't in the study like usual. The maids barely made eye contact. Even Kola, her arrogant older brother, seemed distant. She made her way to her room, but it had been ransacked. Drawers open, letters gone, the hospital file, missing. Someone had been here. Before she could react, a deep voice echoed behind her. So you found them? She turned to see her father, standing in the doorway, his face cold as marble. Found who? She asked, playing dumb. James Durajaye stepped inside, closing the door behind him. Your real family, or what's left of them. Her heart pounded. You knew? You knew this whole time? He nodded. Of course I knew. I orchestrated the whole thing. Amara stepped back. Why? Because you were mine the moment they handed you over. I gave you a life, education, status, protection, things they never could. You stole me, she shouted. He smirked. No, Amara. I rescued you from a bloodline doomed to poverty and irrelevance. You should be grateful. You destroyed a woman's life, my mother's life. James's smile faded. And now you're going to walk away from all this? From everything I've built for you? She looked him dead in the eye. If that's what it takes to find my mother, yes. He stepped closer. Then you're no daughter of mine. Her voice trembled but didn't break. I never was. Amara left the Durajaye mansion that night with nothing but a small suitcase and the truth. No more privilege, no more lies, no more pretending. The city lights blurred as the taxi pulled away, but her thoughts were sharper than ever. She was finally free from expectations, manipulation, and the family that never truly claimed her. She returned to Enugu, where Mama Nkechi greeted her with open arms. Days passed as they traced leads, asked old neighbors, and called anyone who might have seen Oluchi. And finally, they found her. She was living quietly in a small village in Ebonyi State, working as a seamstress. When Amara arrived, her hands trembled. She didn't know what to say. But the moment Oluchi saw her, time froze. She dropped the fabric in her hands. Tears streamed down her face. Amarachi? Amara could barely breathe. Mama? The two women ran into each other's arms, decades of pain collapsing in a single embrace. They didn't speak much that day, just held each other. Because sometimes no words are strong enough to carry the weight of a reunion like that. Over time, Amara built a new life, one based on truth, family, and purpose. She chose to keep her Durajaye surname, not as a badge of honor, but as a reminder of where she came from and what she survived. But sometimes, late at night, she still wondered, if you found out your parents weren't really your own, would you forgive them for keeping the truth or walk away forever?